Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes. All right. Happy Thursday. Hey, Dale. How are you? Hope everybody's doing good tonight. For tonight's card, we're working on the Snowflake Wishes stamp set, and I think it's so many snowflake dies. It's coordinating, and if you didn't know, you can also get this in a suite collection that includes the stamp set, the dies, the ribbon, snowflake embellishments, and designer series paper. But before we get to the card, I just wanted to make one announcement. Right now we have a designer series paper sale. You get 15% off, and there are 15 different designer series paper on sale at 15% off. Christmas paper, birthday paper, the Snowflake Splendor, the paper that goes to the stamp set, is on sale. The Playful Pets, Halloween paper. So all the, like I said, 15 different designer series papers on sale. Hey, Peggy! On sale this month. So you may want to take advantage. There's no limit. It runs for the whole month of October. And if you were deciding to become a hobby or a business demonstrator, and you chose designer series paper for your kit, you would get it at the 15% off. So it would add the 15% price and not the full price. So that's really nice. So let's start tonight's card. Oh, what the heck happened? What? Did that just go blurry? Okay, hold on. Let's see. Huh. Okay, I don't know what happened. Did we lose it? It looks like I'm still going. Is it, Emma, tell me, is it fuzzy or can you see it clear? Because it went out of focus for me. For some reason. It's fuzzy. Okay, let's see what the heck is happening here. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Now it looks like it's better. Okay, so for today's card, I decided to do something a little different and go with not very Christmassy colors, but it seemed to work pretty good. I chose gray granite, and I didn't want to use designer series paper, so I stuck with the gray granite cardstock and silver foil and naturally whisper white. And then I embossed in silver on the inside. And it just, I think it came out really pretty. These color combinations would probably be great for weddings or, you know, sympathy, birthday, not necessarily just Christmas. So I really do like this color combo, and I probably will be doing it again. So I'm glad I gave it a shot. Okay, so I will have all the dimensions in a PDF, and I'll post it in the group tomorrow, so you don't really have to keep track of the measurements. And if you share this video, I'm going to put your name into a hat and pull a winner, and you'll be announced next Thursday. So I have the basic card base, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. And then, you know me, love my layers. I have another layer of gray granite, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and we're just going to use my stamp and seal, and we're going to set this down, making sure it's even, just like that. And then my next layer is the silver foil. Now, you know me, foil, you only get 2 pieces, and I love using it. And my next layer of foil is 4 by 5.25, but I also have a second layer of foil on this card. So I cut out the center using my layering rectangle, and it's the 3 by 4 3/8, and I cut out the center, leaving me with just a frame. But that's okay, because my next layer is going to cover it completely. And again, it's gray granite. So let's take that gray granite, and what I did was I took, let me grab it, the largest die in the snowflake, so many snowflake dies, and I created a stencil, because this die doesn't give you an outline, it just cuts the snowflake out of the paper. So I made my own stencil. And then I'm going to grab my Whisper White stamp pad. And I have to be honest, I did use one of the daubers, but I guess because the paper is a little rough, it tore up the end of my dauber, which I'm pretty disappointed. I didn't realize it would do that. So for tonight, I'm going to use a little makeup brush. So I'm going to just take the stencil, piece of hair, and we are going to stencil this snowflake. Hey Kathy, how are ya? Thanks Christine. Thanks Nan. And we're just going to stencil this snowflake onto this layer. So we're just going to, like I said, using the Whisper White, we're going to just add some snowflakes, and I don't like the way the brush works compared to the dauber, I have to say. I'm just afraid to use it because where it's all chewed up, I'm thinking it's going to leave some particles behind. That's not too bad. So all I'm doing is going from corner to corner. Sorry for my hands getting in the way. And we're just going to stencil this snowflake onto this sheet, actually creating our own designer series paper. And then we'll hit over here. Well, let's move it over this way. We'll just get these little pieces here. And then we can move this up a little. And we don't really have to worry about the center because it's going to be covered with our next layer. But I just wanted to have a little bit of snowflakes on this layer. And you can do as many or as little as you want. So once this piece is done, we are going to grab our silver, and I'm just going to grab my glue, and I didn't put my lid on, so give me a second to get the glue out. And we're just going to put glue along the edges. See what happens when you don't put your top on? Because I just want to catch the frame. Let's get some more here. So we just want to put this on this frame, making sure you got your space even on all sides. And then we're going to pop this piece up onto the front of our card. Let's just grab these. This way we don't have to worry about the little ridge and it being uneven. We're just going to put some dimensionals on the back and pop this layer up. Give the card a little bit of dimension for this layer. Oh no, you forgot to put the lid on all night? Mine's been off for a couple days too. And if anybody doesn't know, Emma is my daughter, and I call her Do, D-O-O. It's been her nickname since the day she was born, and she was born in, 1988, and I still call her Do. It's going to stick with her forever. Just going to put a piece of paper down because of the white ink. So we're going to layer this down on the card. Again, making sure it's even. I like to leave like 1/8 of an inch between layers. So this doesn't look like it's even on the bottom, so we're just going to scooch it over. Okay. And then there is our next layer. So that silver piece that I cut out, I need, as you can see on the card, I'm going to need a silver snowflake. So I took another one of the dies from the set, and it's this one, and I die cut it out of the center of this layer, because again, I'm putting another layer of gray granite on top, so nobody's ever going to see that. And we'll just set that aside for a second. And so I'm going to grab my gray granite, and this next layer, I should have said, like I said, this is the 3 by 4 3/8 rectangle. Then I'm going to take a 2 7/8 by 4 1/4 piece of gray granite, and I'm going to use, let's see what this one is called, the Winter Snow embossing folder. And we're going to emboss this with the Winter Snow, and I did that ahead of time in the gray granite. And I'm going to use the dauber this time, hoping that I do not leave any little pieces behind. But we are very gently going to go over the snowflake, the embossed snowflakes. Trying, I mean, it may be next to impossible to not get it on the background paper. That's why I don't have my finger in the hole. I just want to gently just go over these snowflakes so I hit the tops that are embossed. Just changes the color a little bit. It's very subtle, but it just gives it a different look. And we don't have to go down the middle because I'm going to have another layer. But we're just going to do each of these snowflakes, making sure we give them a little color. Just brings these snowflakes out a little bit. And it just changes it. And it's very subtle. So you can see that it did change. Hey, Margaret, I'm doing good, honey. Thanks, Julie. Thank you. Yeah, I never call you by your first name. So then we are going to take this embossed layer and we're going to glue it right down. Oop, let's close this up because you know what'll happen if I don't. And we're going to layer it on this silver. I hate when my glue clogs. It's my fault. So we're just going to layer this. I got to unclog this. Hold on one second. It's got just a little something in there that's holding it back. Maybe it'll work now. Now it'll probably come out so fast, right? Nope. Okay, so we're going to... It's probably running out. I use so much glue. And I don't want to use the stamp and seal on this layer because you don't want to press too hard and then crush these beautiful snowflakes. So we're just going to put this inside the stitching. There's more room at the top and the bottom for this piece. And this, we're going to just hold this aside. That will be popped up onto the front of the card. But before we do that, I grabbed a piece of Whisper White, and this is I think it's 4 1/8. And I'm going to grab some Smoky Slate and the small little snowflake stamp that comes in the die set, and we're just going to stamp this piece with some snowflakes, just so so it's not just a plain old white piece of paper. Put some over here, and we'll put some right there. So just stamp them on in, various places. As you saw, I turned the stamp every now and then. And then I'm going to grab, and I'm going to step away so I can do this, the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. So give me a second. Let me run this through the machine. Just real quick. And it is quick with this new embossing machine. I just love it. I am patiently awaiting the little one. That's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. How crazy is that, huh? It's just when you have the right tools, and they're really great tools, it just makes it all that much more fun. So I'm just going to check to make sure this isn't going to go over, and it does just a teeny tiny bit. So I'm just going to grab my little cutter, and I'm just going to take a smidge off, because when you emboss, it seems to stretch the paper a little bit. And then we're just going to take this one, and we're going to, again, glue it, because we don't want to smash down the nice embossing. And we're going to center this and run it down the center of the card, making sure it's even on both sides. And it looks like it is. Make sure it's stuck all the way around. And we're just going to pop this up onto the center of the card. Grab some dimensionals, put enough on so it doesn't crush. Okay, so let's grab our card back in. Let's see. I think we'll put it this way. And we're just going to center this. And like I said, you don't really see what you stenciled very much, but it's there. And then you have your embossed layers, which just adds a little bit of texture. And there you go. So then we're going to get our snowflakes. Let me just grab a piece of paper, because I did not do this snowflake in advance. I'm taking my smoky slate again. Crazy colors for Christmas, I know. But you know what? I think this color combination would work for so many different cards. And it does make it look so elegant. So I just stamped this big snowflake, and it has a matching die. And I think this is the matching die. No, it's not. Let me grab the right one. I pulled the wrong one. It's this one. Yep. And give me a second. Let me run this through. I guess you can see I'm in love with my cut and emboss. I've been using it a lot lately. I need new plates already. And I just cut so much. I'm busy, which is great. I love it. Okay. So we got this one cut. So that is our first layer of the snowflakes. Then, just want to see, then we have the silver one that I cut out of that little layer of the center silver layer. So I did that in advance so I could show you. Get these pieces out of the way. And then for the third snowflake, oh, maybe that's what it is. Hi, Jan. Thank you. Hi, Ellen. Is it fuzzy again, or is it better? I'm wondering why it's doing that tonight. Okay, so for the next snowflake, what I did, naturally, we're going to take Whisper White, and then I used the all-purpose ink in Frost White. And what I did was I painted this on, And this goes a long way. You don't need to use a lot. And I just painted an area of the Whisper White. Let me just grab my, and using this little die, cut it out, and it came out with a nice shimmer on it. Can you see? Okay, thank you. Hey, Jan. Thanks for joining. So that's my third snowflake. Let me just recheck. Did I pop it up? Yes, I did. So we're just going to grab some of the mini dimensionals and grab this first snowflake. And I think we'll put it right about there. And we're just going to take our big snowflake, pop that up. And then I did my silver one, and I think I glued that one. Let me just check. Yep. This one we're going to glue down. So we're just going to put glue in the center because we don't know really where it's going to catch without checking it first. So that's our silver layer. And then we're going to add the painted white one. And for this one, I do want to pop this one up. But these little dimensionals are not small enough. So I'm just going to cut a little strip. Really don't want to see it. It's just too tiny. Okay. So let's put this, and it's probably still too big, so we're just going to tag that down. Whoops. And cut a little piece. And I can still see it. So we're going to cut it again. Just don't like seeing the dimensionals. Okay. And we're going to stick this one, and we're off-centering them, each layer. On there good? Yep. And then you have your 3 layers of the snowflake. Then we're going to grab the shimmer ribbon. And I believe this is also gray granite. I forgot to check on its name. Excuse me, before I went live. So if anybody knows, thanks, Ellen. If anybody knows the name of this shimmer ribbon, I really would appreciate it. I forgot to check. And I could pull my catalog out, I guess. And we're just going to create a bow. Give it a nice, just get my fingers out of here. No matter how many times I make these crazy things. Just even out our little even our tails out. Okay. Some days I can make bows and they come out fabulous. Some days it's like, what the heck? No, all it says, hey Claudia, all it says is, where is it? Shimmer ribbon. Ah, yes, gray granite. It is the gray granite shimmer ribbon. Thank you, Claudia. Usually I don't see the name many of the ribbons don't have it, so I don't even look at the ribbon spool anymore. Shame on me. Thank you so much, Claudia. And then we're going to grab our leftover dimensionals from a paper pumpkin kit. And stick on our bow. And I probably will take that off and start it again. You just don't like it. Okay, so there's the outside. Now for the inside, just a very simple inside. Grab my Versamark and my sentiment. I first have my gray granite layer, and that's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And like I said, I will have the PDF in my group tomorrow with all the dimensions. And then the Whisper White is 5 1/4 by 4. And I just put, and it's, when it comes to the sentiments, be careful not to squish it down when you're embossing. I know we have a tendency, I know I have a tendency, I shouldn't say we. Thanks, Claudia. I have a tendency to be heavy-handed sometimes. But with the sentiment, you want to try not to be too heavy-handed because it seems to squish that sentiment down just a little too far. So just do it gently. And hopefully this is going to work. And we're going to grab our silver emboss. And it looks like it did, so that's good. And we're just going to emboss this in silver. And you can see, let me grab my brush, there's just a little bit of embossing powder on the underside of this. So I'm just going to brush it away, give it another tap. And I think it looks pretty good now, so give me a second. We're going to emboss this up. I love watching the embossing powder change. And just like magic, we have our sentiment. Let me just close up my powder, otherwise it'll end up on the floor. And then I just took strips of silver, a strip of silver, and a strip of gray granite. And the gray granite is about 1/4 of an inch. And then the next one is just a little bit, and I made it wider on this one, it looks like, but it's just a little thinner, because all I'm going to do, and we're going to put it on, let's put it on this one. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the end. And you don't want to get too much glue because it takes the shine away from your foil paper. And we're just going to stick this on, leaving a little bit of the silver showing. Let's get this even there. Make sure it's even. Just like that. That looks even. And then we're just going to take this, add a bit of glue, and we're going to stick this right underneath our sentiment. Make sure sure it comes all the way down to the edge, which it's not. There we go. And it's even. Grab our little trimmer. We're just going to give that a good, and I'm just going to move it over a little just to take a little snib, just a little teeny tiny bit off because the edge was a little rough. It's time for me to change my blades on my cutter, and it's leaving some rough edges sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. I think too it's because of my heavy hand. All you really have to do is run that blade across the paper, and I think sometimes I just hold on to the blade a little too tightly when I'm cutting. Look what I did. Must have something on my finger. Okay, so I'm not going to glue this in. I'm going to redo it. See, I had something on my finger. I don't know what it was. Probably embossing. And we're just going to take this and glue it inside the card. And that's it. That is our elegant Christmas card. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. And I just want you to know, I know everybody, if you saw my post, yeah, I have seen the embossing, but I usually keep dryer sheets in here and rub it over my paper beforehand. So I don't have any in here, and I didn't even think about it, but I guess my finger had glue on it. But for those who had read my post about, I think I was running late about something, I'm not sure what it was. My husband's O2 levels have come up. His heart rate is still at 48, and I think that's just going to be the way it is. It's been about 45 to 48 for the last 10 days. So I think that's just where his heart is going to stay. Thanks, Nan. Snowflake. yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll put a nice light snowflake. I'll show you what I come up with tomorrow, Peggy. I'll post it tomorrow. It seems like I do that every Thursday night, right? I'll post it on Friday. So like I said, the PDF will be in the group tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for stopping in tonight. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.